Hello and welcome to the 2024 ARWS Southern US Grand Prix from the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. On pole, once again, to the surprise of everybody, it's Emma Kickert, who's only been on pole for every race this year. She did win this race last year, so she'll be looking to for that to be a groundwork for her second win of the season and fourth of her ARWS career. But alongside her on the front row, we have Marco Jantscher with the Euromotor now showing some improved performance thanks to the hard work on the Goodyear tires. So we'll see if Jantscher has something for Kicker in this race. On the second row of the grid, we've got the defending ARWS champion, of course, Philippe Nicolas for Holiday. He's been on a terrible string of poor luck in terms of reliability. So after, what is that? 8 races now without a single top 5 finish, he'll definitely be looking to at least finish this race without any troubles, hopefully. Alongside Nicola on the second row of the grid, we've got Edvard Holm, joint driver who's won the most races this year with Takuma Taki, of course. Holm's won 3 races, and those have been his only finishes this season, and he'll be looking to add a 4th finish with a 4th win, hopefully. Or maybe he won't finish at all. Who can say? We've got Dan Greenlaw starting 5th on the grid, hoping for a better weekend this time than what he had at Saint-Air, where he retired for both races very early on. And alongside him is the current championship leader by 51 points with 5 races remaining, including this one. It's Takuma Taki, 4 racing points. Taki has recently announced a new contract for 2025. He'll be joining the, assuming that Globex Scorpio Racing gets approved to the grid. It looks like he will be joining them for the next season. But for now, though, he'll be focusing all his efforts on defending that championship lead and potentially adding a 4th win on the season. On the 4th row of the grid, we've got Bradley Dagnall in the second Euromotor in what I believe may be his best qualifying effort since his AutoGP days, which is almost a decade ago now at this point. Alongside Dagnall on the 4th row, we've got Amy Gauthier in the second Racing Point, and behind them, it's both of the March 16s. Starting to struggle now for pace as Pirelli's development of their tyre seems to have really sort of fallen behind that of the Michelin and Goodyear runners, so it may be a bit of a tough run to the finish of the season for Final Watson and Magda Servansky there. Starting 11th on the grid, we've got Andrei Kremnitsky leading the W12s. Kremnitsky's been under a lot of pressure from his team boss lately, and if he doesn't start performing anywhere near his teammate Václav Mališ, it may be this may be his last few races in that car. So he'll definitely be hoping that the 11th place starting spot is a good omen of what he might achieve in this one. Alongside him, there's Klon in the Bentley. Bentley seems to have been increasing in performance over the last few races. Again, this is they are running the Goodyear tires, so that may be helping them a bit, as well as Goodyear really do seem to have made quite a significant strides in over the past couple of over the course of the season so far, really. On row 7, starting 13th, it's Václav Mališ, currently tied for second in the championship with Philippe Nicolas, and alongside him is Nathaniel Cameron for Jones. Then we've got Akira Yamamura in the Adriatica, starting 15th. Adriatica having a bit of a poor set of races recently. Yamamura will be looking to turn that around here. And Pierre Saint-Laurent starting 16th in the second Bentley. We've got Diego Alvarez Torrente starting 17th. A fair few well, not a fair few, 3 spots, but a little bit behind his teammate there in the second of the 2 Jones on the grid. And Imani Burrell making her first full weekend at an ARWS first full weekend as an ARWS driver. Of course, she was promoted into that seat at the previous race, the Rivière Noire Grand Prix, following the disqualification, well, not disqualification, 4-race ban for Anuvosu, following the disgraceful incident with her crashing into Philippe Nicolas. So Burrell here getting a shot to prove herself in that car. On the 10th row of the grid, we've got Alberto Cara in the lead Yangwang. Cara, of course, sensationally took 2 podiums and even led very briefly at the I can't remember, was it the Canadian or the Rivière Noire Grand Prix? I think it was the Canadian Grand Prix, in fact. Let's promote, but those 2 second place finishes from that weekend has elevated him up into 4th position in the championship. He's now only 5 points behind Nicolas Malish, but it's still a fair gap between them and, of course, our championship leader Takuma Taki. Alongside Cara is Martin McFry, who's also putting in himself as a little bit of an outside shot at this championship. He's currently 5th in the standings, 10 points behind Cara. So we'll see if McFry can make a bit of a go of it over these last few races. And then on row 11, we've got Fu Wen in the second Yangwang. Fu has been having a bit of a tough time of it recently, but a good 21st place position on the grid, only about 0.6 of a second off his teammate. When your teammate is Alberto Cara, that's not too bad. We'll see if Fu can translate that qualifying performance in the race. Alongside Fu, we've got Naoki Shinjo in the Mecha. Mecha seemed to have found something in that car at the Sanair round, so they had a total of 3 top 10s between their 2 drivers across the 2 race weekend. So Shinjo will be looking to continue that form here. We've got Ben Fleet and Malik Zidane in the second Foxshell and the second Mecha, respectively, on row 12. And on the back of the grid, we've got both of the peaks, Aurora Summers and Carmen Alvarez Torrente. And with that, the start of the race is just moments away. Getting ready here for 59 laps here at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, just waiting for the lights to go out. And it's go! Great launch for Emma Kickert. She leads them all the way down into turn 1. Marco Jancher taking a look to the inside. But that is Takuma Taki with a fantastic start for the championship leader. He's all the way up into 2nd position. So great start there for Taki. Just checking here to make sure. Oh, we do have a bit of an incident a bit further back in the grid. I think that was one of the peaks broke their front wing. Indeed, that's Carmen Alvarez Torrente. Just got it braked way too late for turn 1 and just smashed that front wing right off her car. That is a terrible start for the Spanish driver in this one. Up front, though, it's Kickert leading from Taki. Taki's all over the back of that Simpson already. Jancher already trailing a little bit from those lead two, with Nicola all over the back of the Euromotor looking for third place. Oh, and that is Taki looking for the lead there, but can't quite make it stick. He'll tuck in the slipstream of Kicker here down the back straightaway. Pulls out, looks to take the lead here. Side by side into the heavy braking zone at turn 12, and that is Takuma Taki into the lead. Fantastic start for Takuma Taki, the championship leader, really looking to stamp his authority. He's not looking at all to have an easy coast to the finish here. And that is definitely putting the pressure on Philippe Nicola to quickly try and do something about him. Dan Greenlaw running 5th from home. Bradley Dagnall, Final Watson, Magda Servansky, and Amy Gauthier are our top 10, with Lon and Kremnitsky in 11th and 12th. So at the end of the first lap, we have Kicker leading by half a second, but that is a big dive up the inside there for Edvard Holm, trying to take 5th place off of Dan Greenlaw, but the American able to hold off the free time ARWS winner. Already this season, Holm has won 3 races, but we're looking for a potential 4th one if he can. That would make him the most winningest driver in this in the series at this stage, but he's got a few cars to pass to get up there. We've got Kicker now, his teammate, taking a look at the inside of Taki. She's not going to give up on this lead that easily. Not sure that was the best timing to make that move there, as really seems to have compromised her exit down the back straightaway, and Taki still able to hold on to that lead around turn 12. A little further back in the grid, we've got Malish down to 16th, so that's a poor start for the man currently equal second in the championship. He'll be looking to try and pick up back some of those positions through this first stint here. Burrell down in 17th, then it's McFry running ahead of Diego Alvarez Torrente in the Jones, so a poor start as well for Diego Alvarez Torrente. Good start though for Fu Wen. In fact, he's running ahead of Alberto Cara. And that would be because Cara has lost his rear wing. Not entirely sure how that happened. It may be that one of these cars currently running behind him has sort of misjudged their braking and just sort of knocked the main plane of the rear wing off. But that is big trouble for Alberto Cara early in this race. That's not what he wanted to be seeing after that fantastic weekend he had at San Air. And we can see across from our commentary position here, the Racing Point garage is an absolute ecstatic, especially Williams' story. This is exactly what they want to be seeing, is Takuma Taki leading. Although they'd probably prefer him to be pulling away a little bit more from Emma Kicker than he currently is, but he's got enough of a gap here to be able to comfortably lead down here into the back straightaway, as Edvard Holm has taken over 5th position. That's a good opportunistic move for the Dane here. Take a we'll have a quick replay of that, see how he made the move on Greenlaw. He's very far back entering turn 11 here, but just seemed to catch Greenlaw napping there, and moves up into 5th position. We'll see now if he can defend that, because Greenlaw's right behind the Simpson. He'll be looking to use that. Indeed he does. Pulls out side by side down the back straightaway into turn 12, and Greenlaw will retake 5th place. So that's good racecraft there by Greenlaw to not let himself get rattled there and just take that spot right back.
that overtake, showing that the Circuit of the Americas is one of those circuits that really encourages drivers to just take a leap of faith and hope for the best. Lots of space to work with, as we saw Taki on the first lap. So that's what is a good move by home, but a calm counter by Greenlaw.
Absolutely. Again, it's racing like that that's made this track a firm fan favorite already. We had a fantastic duel between Kickert and Martin McFry here last year, and we could be on for another good one here. As we've got Taki setting now another fastest lap of the race. He's now edged out about 9/10 of a second over Kickert. Jancher not being dropped too far back. He's fending off Nicola for now in 4th place, but this lead pack, the top 7 currently within 6 seconds of each other, so it's very close up at the frontier. So we could be on for a real show here today. Nicola there taking a look at 3rd place from Jancher. Couldn't quite get the nose to the inside of the Euromotor, and he's had a poor exit from that corner, so not able to make that move stick. Greenlaw here looking to fend off Holm again, but Holm this time he makes the move at the right opportunity here. There's really no opportunity for Greenlaw to really try and take that move back unless it's a very daring move to the inside, which would be fairly ill-advised at this early stage in the race. So that's Holm now up into 5th place, and Bradley Dagbell really showing a lot of improved pace in this race. It has to be said, he's doing a great job hanging on to the Simpson and Holiday here in the early stages, putting a good gap between himself and the March 16s of Watson, Cervansky, and of course Amy Gauthier in 10th currently. That's another sensational lap from Taki. He's pulled out another 7/10 on Kickert now, so Taki really putting the pressure on now. Trying to build a gap and put himself in prime position to take a 4th win of the season here. As we got Vaslav Malic taking a look to the inside. He's moved up to well, he hasn't moved up to that's where he was earlier, 16th, taking a look to the inside of Akira Yamamura there. Needs to be careful he doesn't accidentally hand that position behind him to Manny Burrell's. Nicola now takes a look to the inside of Margot Jancher for 3rd place there at turn 11. He gets it done, but that Euromotor all season we've seen it be sensationally quick in a straight line, and already halfway down the back straightaway Jancher's got that position back, so... But that's maybe a bit too eager to retake the position, because that's allowed Nicola to then get the slipstream and take 3rd place right back. So great dueling there earlier in this one. That is exactly what Nicola needs to be doing here, is making those sorts of moves and seeing if he can chase down the likes of Kicker and Taki and maximize his potential points haul for this race. We also got Jancher here now looking to defend from Edvard Holm rather than try and take that position back. So good pace for Nicola since making that move just a couple moments ago.
Really pulling away from the rest of the W12 field, so that's the reason he's on like a fuel load.
Yeah, sorry, is there issue with your microphone there? Sorry, it seemed a bit faint.
It is a bit faint because I had it too far away from my mouth.
That would make sense. Yes, yeah. But yeah, as for the strategy here, expecting something similar to the previous races. See Holm there taking a look to the inside of Jancher. Not able to make it stick though, and again, being a bit too... You want to be careful not to be too eager at that turn 11, because it can They can bite you. It's very important to get a good exit from that corner. Otherwise, you're just not putting yourself in a good position to try and make the move down at turn 12. But as for strategy here, it's about half the field we're expecting to see the expected 2-stop strategy. That should be about that first stop should open up about lap 18 or so, but the more aggressive free stop, which Lon may be on here, that window will open up very shortly. It's a very aggressive pit strategy, the free stop at this circuit. We also may see a few drivers attempt the one stop, and we'd expect those pit stops to be made like right around the halfway markers. We've got Amani Burrell has pulled off the track. This could be indeed it is, an electrical issue on the Adriatica, so their woes continue. They were right in the mix of the Constructors Championship a few rounds ago, but a series of poor reliability, and now Vozu getting herself banned for 4 races has really put that challenge in quite a poor position. And that electrical issue for Burrell really not doing her any favors either. We've got Yanscher now really having to fight to hold off home here for that 4th place. They've dropped a bit now behind Nicola, Kickert, and Taki, who are starting to pull away a little bit. They're taking another look to the inside of the Euromotor, but again, that is compromising his exit from that turn 11, and we'll see now if Greenlaw is able to use the slipstream to maybe get back at home and take that 5th place, but I don't think he's quite got the straight line speed, but he's going for it anyway. Very late dive on the brakes, but he backs off and
beaches himself on that curb. Oh,
indeed he does. Oh my goodness, and that is Final Watson has crashed into the back of Greenlaw and is taking himself out of the race. That is I don't think I've seen that before.
The thing is, Greenlaw was not really committed to the move, and despite the fact that Home was giving him space, so he ended up on that curb where you can get stuck in an unfortunate scenario, and I don't know what Watson was doing there.
Yeah, that was... he was just trying to... He was trying to cut it very close with Greenlaw, maximize his exit speed from that corner, but it's just far too aggressive from Final Watson, and that's taking him very early out of this race. We've got Malish making the move here on Akira Yamamura for 15th place, so...
Watson demonstrating why you should pay attention to yellow flags.
Indeed.
But those are the follies of youth.
So that has elevated Bradley Daggle up into 6th position now. Greenlaw down to 7th, and Servansky and Gauthier still close together fighting for that 8th position. Saint Laurent making a good start. It seems he's up to 12th position here. Also got Fuen still running pretty respectably up in 19th position. It's early days here, but Fu seems to be having one of his better drives in this one so far. So we'll see. Hopefully he can continue that. But up front, it is still Takuma Taki, still not a huge gap to Kickert, under 2 seconds currently. But the big threat here is the fact that Philippe Nicolas does seem to be closing in just a little bit on these leading pair. So we'll see now if there may be some strategy, differing strategies here between the leading I3 contenders, as Amy Gauthier makes the move on Magda Servansky for 8th position. That is, I think that should be a pretty textbook overtake down the main, well, not the main straight, the back straight here down into turn 12. Yeah. Oh yeah, I think she just sold her a fake there. pulled back in as if she was going to give up on the move, but that just caught Servansky off guard and allowed the French woman to take another position there, up to 8th. I think Fu Wen here might be looking at taking a position here from Naoki Shinja. This was a battle for 18th position between the Yongwang and the Mecha here. Shinja going a bit defensive, but not defensive enough as Fu finds his way to the inside. Ooh, just spun the tires a bit though on the inside there, and Shinja able to hold on to the position. Nicola, though, taking another bit of another chunk of time here out of Kicker and Taki. That gap between first and second remaining pretty static here, but Nicola definitely on the tail of the pole sitter currently. Will be looking to try and make this move as quickly as he can, as cleanly as he can, and then set about seeing if he could do something about that championship rival of his. Looking to try and unsettle Kicker there by taking a look to the inside here, but this is where he wants to be making moves down the back straightaway. Nicola right in the toe of the Simpson. Pulls out side by side into turn 12. And that is textbook from Philippe Nicola straight into second place. That's what he needs to be doing. And now it's, we'll see if he can continue this this little charge of his, and if he can catch up to Taki for that lead. It does look like Klon and Kremnitsky both are pulling away quite significantly from Saint Laurent and the rest of the W12, so they may both be on a more aggressive fuel strategy to the likes of Saint Laurent, Cameron, and Malish, who's now closing in on those two, looking for to try and claw his way up the order. Fuen trying to take another look at Naoki Shinjo, still can't quite get the move done on the Japanese driver, but this is, I think, definitely one of Fu's best performances already this season, so hopefully that will be enough for the Chinese driver to convince the Yongwang factory team that he deserves a second season.
He really seems to be getting along well with these new Goodyear tires, so that will probably help him make his case.
So Taki's lead was 2 seconds at the start of this lap, but you can see Nicola is definitely closing in. That Holiday definitely seems to be the quicker car at this point in time, so we could be on for a battle for the lead here in a few laps. Although we do, I do believe that the pit window has opened for the Prix stopper, so we'll see if there's any takers here amongst the leaders. I'm not sure if any of them are on the Prix stopper, but well, we'll see soon enough, I suppose. Well, Taki and Nicola aren't coming in at the very least. That is a fantastic lap from Philippe Nicola. 0.6 quicker than Taki on that previous lap. He's definitely rising to the challenge here set by the Japanese championship leader here. Really aggressively attacking those curbs through the opening section of the lap. The S's here is. I think Homa's gearing himself up here to try and take a look at Marco Jancher for 4th, it seems. See if he tries to make that move into turn 11. He might be a little too far back to try and really do that, and yeah, just sort of bails out of it. Stays fairly close behind the Euromotor, but as I mentioned earlier, that Euromotor is so quick down in a straight line. There's there's just no amount of slipstream that you can get that would really allow you to do anything about that, it seems. Fuen's still trying to find the way past the mecha of Naoki Shinjo here. Just trying to stay as close as he can through this this sector of the track. Still no takers in the pits as of yet. Kicker currently holding position in third as Nicola has now put himself within a second of our race leader Takuma Taki. And Yoncher again, that's sort of the thing with the Euromotor, it seems, is that very quick in a straight line, but not so good with the twisty parts, and that's where Holm is really just sort of all over the back of that Euromotor. But there's just no way for him to make a move there, and as soon as they get to this this back straightaway, I mean, you could just see that Euromotor just drive well off into the distance, and there's no kind of dive bomb you can pull that would make an overtake really work when you're dealing with a car that's that quick. Nicola now's on the tail of the leading racing point of Takuma Taki. Can he make a move here? As, oh my goodness, that is an engine failure on the other racing point of Amy Gauthier, and once again that second racing point just does not seem to have any reliability whatsoever. Taki's reliability this season has been sensational. It's one of the main things that's helped him gain this 50-point advantage. But the flip side of that is like Amy Gauthier seems to be suffering all the unreliability at Racing Point, as Nicola and Taki now looking to lap Carmel Averis Torrente. Taki makes the move here, entering turn 11, and Nicola takes advantage of that. And just as Taki moves to retake the racing line, Nicola takes full advantage, dives up the inside, but that's allowed Taki the slipstream here. And Taki coming right back at Nicola. Chops right across the nose of the Holiday, and Taki's back up into the lead. You cannot pass Takuma Taki that easily, Philippe. You're gonna have to pull a little something extra out of the bag, I think.
Brilliant move with an excellent counter move. What more can you say? That is why these two are the championship contenders that they are. And in the case of Nicolas, the defending champ.
Absolutely. Definitely two of the very best drivers in the world, frankly, if you ask me. Nicola here, once again in the slipstream of Taki down the front straightaway. Can he take a move into turn 1? No, a little bit too far back. Can't quite make it, can't quite get to the inside of Taki there, entering that turn 1. But they have opened up a 2.5 second gap now over and the kicker, as I think Taki may have been pacing himself in those first laps. But now that Nicola has come up to really harry him for that race lead, it's caused our championship leader to really raise his game and hold Nicola behind him. And Nicola again to the inside. Taki very forcefully shuts the door on Holiday. Can Nicola make a move here into turn 12? He's catching him here. You'll need to pull out at the very last second and decide this is not the time. Sorry?
Holman trouble.
Oh, goodness. You're right, that is problems for Edvard Holm, and it's an engine problem on the Simpsons, so that is, that's another reliability issue of for Holm on his car, and his record of continuing to be either win or not finish at all. It would appear to remain intact, unfortunately for him in this instance. Back with our leaders, though, it does seem that Nicola choosing not to press the issue too much in these opening laps. They don't want to overstress their tires or mess up their fuel calculations, because those could be quite tight on a track this large as well. So biding his time at the moment is our reigning world champion. Indeed, that is Holm pulling over to the side of the road here right at the end of the lap, and it's another DNF for him. I'll already move up Klon to 8th position, and he's got a good margin over here on Andrei Klemnitsky and Pierre Saint-Laurent. In fact, it's 20 seconds ahead of his teammates, so this is a fantastic pace early in this race from Klon. I have to imagine he is definitely on a different strategy to his teammate at the very least. Nicola again taking a look to inside of Taki. That was very close to contact between our two championship contenders here. Will he take a look to the inside here entering turn 12? Ooh, he does. He takes a look to the inside. I think just trying to unsettle Taki there, but I think you're going to have to try harder than that to unsettle the most difficult man to overtake in ARWS.
These two have been playing mind games with each other all season long, so it stands to reason that Nicholas is certainly thinking about that aspect. It's a very... Despite not having any actual personal animosity, these two are on track very much not fans of each other.
Certainly, yes. Nicola has been... In his driving, very forceful when dealing with Taki. It does seem. I think the incident between them at the I believe it was the second race at Loudon, the Northern US Grand Prix, was sort of a moment that's really instigated an on-track rivalry between these two. Taking a look now back at the battle for what is now 16th position. Fuen still sticking with Naoki Shinjo here in this battle, but not really. I think he's just more focused on holding that position and trying to take that spot in the... Oh my goodness, that is as close as you could get to contact there between Nicola and Taki, and... he's a little bit closer this time, is Nicola. Can he make the move to the inside this time into turn 12? Elects not to. I think he probably could have, if he wanted to, try to send it up the inside, but again, I think trying to find his moment here is Nicola. They are catching the Yangwang there of Alberto Cara, so this could be an opportunity here. As it does seem that nobody really on the free stop strategy, so that is quite an interesting. Oh my goodness, that is Taki pulling in, and he now pits. This is right at the end of the free stop window, in fact. So that is Taki coming in for his first stop of the day. A very critical pit stop here for our championship leader. We'll see if the Racing Point crew can get him back out in good time. .4 seconds, so that may have been a bit longer on the field. I think this may in fact be a two-stop strategy for Taki here. So that is a very early pit stop though for our championship leader, and he'll definitely be looking to put in some more quick times on these fresh tires. Get himself and try and maintain that gap. He's well, not much of a gap, but build a gap over Nicola. Though Nicola is now freed up to run in clear air, he won't have the advantage, as I believe. Indeed, we have had a that battle between Fu Wen and Naoki Shinjo has come to an overtake here, as Fu's finally made the move at turn 12, it seems.
Knowing that there isn't really a chance of challenging the W12, C took his time and just waited for the absolute perfect moment. Very patient gameplay by the experienced endurance driver.
Indeed, Kickert here held up quite a bit by Alberto Cara, so I imagine Kickert would not be particularly pleased by that, as we've got issues from Magda Servansky. There's an oil leak on the March 16, so her poor run of reliability continues here. She's only had, I think, 2 finishes. We've also got someone off at the first turn. That's Diego versus Torrente. There's a puncture on the Jones, so quite a bit of reliability woes early in this going. We're down to that should be 20 cars running here at the 1/3 mark. Well, just short of the 1/3 mark, I should say, is Taki making his way past Carmen versus Torrente into some clear air here, where you can try and make the most of those fresh tires. We'll see at the end of this lap what kind of times he can set on those and how it stacks up against Philippe Nicolas. Still running quite close to his best time, so Nicolas has done a good job keeping those tires, getting those tires to hold up. As we got Klon now into the pits. A long wait there on the fuel, so this does seem to be a two-stop strategy for Lon. We also got Nathaniel Cameron into the pits. It would seem he's also on the two-stop here. Nicola here coming up to some traffic, as in fact he's been called into the pits by the holiday crew. They're seeing that that gaggle of traffic up there, and they're electing it's better to get their driver out of that, as Emma Kickert takes over the lead. That'll be the first lap she's led in this race, despite starting from the pole position. But all eyes here on Philippe Nicolas. I believe also I think that's Bradley Dagnall in the pits as well for Euromotor. And that is a very... There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of fuel in that car there, and that has enabled him to jump ahead of Takuma Taki. So Philippe Nicolas, the gamble there for Racing Point by bringing Taki in early doesn't seem to have paid off. It was a 1:48.49.8, which is about 3/10 off his personal best there. So Taki's outlap there, not up to his best work. So he'll have to try and get back past Nicola on the track here, it seems.
I do wonder whether it was a spontaneous choice by the homers to give him less fuel, or whether that was already the plan from the beginnings. Because if it was a farmer, it's a very inspired strategy to gain track position.
Yes, although I did note there was a quite a short wait on the fuel, so I don't know if are they either they're doing a very short middle stint here and a long closing stint to end this race, or they're doing a freeze-stop strategy for Nicola. So that will be an interesting thing to watch out for as the race unfolds here. We got. It seems that Vaslav Malish is caught up to Pierre Saint-Laurent for 8th place, and they're currently running right ahead of Klon, who's come out from his pit stop right behind this pair. So Lon here using those fresh Goodyears to good use, and we'll go right back past Malish without too much trouble here.
Question is now whether will Kahama outright tell St. Laurent to go by, or just trust that Lone is quick enough to make it happen on his own.
No, knowing Lon, I think he may. Well, I mean, to be fair, Lon is the sort of driver where you can't really be sure in either sense whether or not he would want to employ team orders here, or whether he would want the satisfaction of passing his teammate by his own merit. Assuming he can make the move here, he would be in a good position here with traffic, because there is quite a gap between Saint Laurent and Andrei Kremnitsky, who's still yet to pit in the checkmate.
And making use of that free air will be essential for the strategy to work.
Absolutely. Kicker here has cleared this little bit of lap traffic here, just getting around the peak of Aurora Summers. Yanscher still hanging quite close behind, as we've got Greenlaw coming into the pits now, so that's the second holiday brought in. But Yanscher here doing a good job in this this opening stint, just not really focusing. Doesn't really seem to be focusing too much on challenging Kicker, but very much staying in touch with the leading Simpson. As we've got a new fastest lap of the race, it's Philippe Nicolas now up into 3rd place with his teammate pitting there. Taki just not able to run at the same sort of pace as Nicolas. I think it may be a very aggressive strategy choice here by the Holiday crew to try and get Nicolas to build a big gap over his championship rival and really be able to dictate the race at their pleasure here. Not too far behind them is Bradley Dagnall as well, who's definitely having his well, either his best or his second best race of the season, depending on how you want to classify his run at the Norris Ring. Of course, he did win that race, but as we've got Vaslav Malish into the pits, Dagnall did win the race at the Norris Ring, but I think a lot of the key contenders in that one were eliminated or in one way or another. And he wasn't really able to do much. He didn't really face much actual challenge in that race, other than from his teammate, who has just taken the race lead. As we've got Emma Kicker into the pits. So a lot of drivers pitting now right around this the 1/3 mark in this race. Imagine Kicker will probably come out behind Bradley Dagnall here. Although, I don't know, she might have enough of a gap over the Euro motor. There's Taki going through. And yeah, I think Kicker should hang on to what is a net 3rd place on the road. So, out of our leading I3s, the only one still yet to pit is Marco Yanscher, who's got a 16-second margin over Philippe Nicolas, and who's already built a 6-second gap over Takuma Taki, so Nicolas is really on a mission here. There's the reliability has been an issue for Holiday over the last few races. But Nicola is definitely throwing caution to the wind here. If he's going to win this championship, he wants it to be on the merits of his own pace and not through just sort of stroking the car home as he did very often last season. Also, we've got Klon's make the move on his teammate. So Lon now looking to close in on Andrei Kremnitsky. He's only 3/10 quicker than the Slovak on the previous lap, but Kremnitsky, of course, running by himself, and Lon presumably had to overtake his teammate on that lap. Interestingly, Martin McFry has made his first pit stop. I don't think Ben Fleet has, and McFry's also looking to overtake his teammate. So it does seem that the that strategy of pitting earlier and well, running out ahead and then making that extra pit stop does seem to be playing into the hands of those doing it. As I do think the kicker may be closing in a little bit on Taki here, but we'll keep an eye on that gap between those two. We've got Carmen Alvarez Torrente now in the pits for her first scheduled stop, second time into the pits, of course.
That hose was on the car for a very short time.
Yeah, that is a very short stop for Carmen Alvarez Torrente. Not entirely sure what the peak plan is there. Perhaps they're looking to mirror Nicola's strategy.
I guess if you're not really fighting for a position, you might as well try something.
Indeed. So, Jancher continuing to lead here, still not looking to make that first pit stop. He's getting into the one-stop territory here, which could be very interesting if he tries to play it that way. As we got Fu Wen now into the pits. He's gotten up to 12th position on the road here, so 13th position, I should say, on the road. So a good opening stint there for Fu Wen. As we've also got Ben Fleet coming into the pits. And Dan Greenlaw here now closing back in on Bradley Dagnall. Of course, he did lose that position earlier after beaching his car on the curb. And is now looking to close back in and retake that position finally from Dagnall. And we've got Andrei Kremnitsky into the pits from 7th place, so we'll see how he comes back out relative to the Bentleys. I think they may both get past him, but we'll see exactly where that plans out for Kremnitsky. That's a very short wait on the fuel for Kremnitsky. So not sure. So that is very interesting for him. Although I suppose he was sort of running by himself prior to the pit stop window opening up. But this is a bit confusing with regards to the pit strategy, I have to say. Not entirely sure how they're looking to play this one. So that's Yamamura also into the pits. Nicola continuing to close in as you'd expect on the fresher tires, now 15.3 seconds behind Marco Jancher, which is he's taken a good chunk of time out of the Euromotor, but not as much as you'd expect, I don't think. As we've got Kickert now looking for a position on Takuma Taki here. As I say, we're negotiating the lap traffic of Martin McFry. Dagnall here, also under a threat from Dan Greenlaw. So we'll see exactly how these, see if either of them can make a move, into turn 11 or 12 here. Kicker taking a look up the inside into turn 11. She's not wasting any time here. I think she's gonna try and use the slipstream here off the peak. But Taki getting the double toe here. Oh yeah, Kicker making the block there inadvertently by getting around Aurora Summers. And that's prevented Taki from taking the position back there. So that's a fantastic move there from Kicker. Let's have a look at that again.
Taking the plunge, figuring that's the best way to... Or that's more likely than making a slipstream move works, then taking the slipstream of the back marker, going out there, and perfect timing and lapping.
Absolutely.
That is art. That is art in terms of racing. Nothing short of that.
Absolutely. Taki had absolutely no option there but to back out of the throttle and just let Kicker have the position. That is exactly what you want to do when making an overtake. Greenlaw here struggling a little bit with the foxtail. That's allowed Dagnall to pull away from him as we've got Shinjo now into the pits. Again, very short waits on the fuel here, so these drivers may be looking to do the one stop or bailing out and looking to do the two stop. I'm not sure exactly, but I suppose we'll see as the race continues to unfold here. We've got Yoncher still leading by 15.3 seconds here, so he's still lapping very well in that Euromotors, going fantastically here around the Circuit of the Americas, and judging by his pace, he could well be on to steal this race from the likes of Nicola, Kicker, and Taki.
Are going to depend on what Euromotor do strategy-wise. If he can switch to a one-stop, that would really be helpful at this stage, but it remains to be seen whether they're considering that option as he pits right now.
Indeed, this is a critical moment for the race for Marco Jantscher. Lap 26 he's pitting. It's 33 more laps to go. So we'll see here if they do decide to put him on the one stop. It does seem to be the case. Yeah, it does look to be the case.
That's a lot of fuel. That's a lot of fuel.
Yeah, very long wait on the fuel. 12.3 second pit stop. Marco Jantscher gets back out on track. He's doing the one stop here. That's handed the lead right back to Philippe Nicola. Kicker through into second. Taki sweeps through into third. There goes Dagnall. And Jantscher gets back out ahead of Greenlaw. So Greenlaw's frustrating race seems to continue. He just always seems to be in the wrong place track position wise ever since beating himself on that curb earlier in the race.
It's crucial for Jantscher to not let Greenlaw pass him right now.
Yeah, Jantscher needs to really focus on running his own race here. Of course, the one thing that's really in his favor here is the I guess the favorite overtaking spot as Greenlaw looks to the inside at turn 11, but the favorite overtaking spot into turn 12. Really difficult to overtake a Euromotor given how utterly dominant they are down the front, in a straight line. Look, all from the onboard, even with a full tank of fuel, Jantscher doing well over 320 kilometers an hour in a straight line. That is very good aerodynamic work by the Euromotor designers, you have to say. So Nicola now leads by about 11.5 seconds from Emma Kickert. He's really been putting on a big push in this this middle stint here, looking to build a gap over Kickert and Taki and put himself in prime position to win this race. I think at this stage, I'd have to say his biggest threat is either is potentially Marco Jantscher, on depending on how he can get that one stop to work. Of course, Jantscher here is running right behind his teammate Bradley Dagnall. Now, it will be interesting to see if Euromotor orders Dagnall to pull back here and sort of get out of the way of Jantscher, because running those cars that close together will be causing Jantscher some issues with aerodynamic grip in the higher speed corners. But we'll see if they elect to make that call. Although I have to say, they are seeming to close in on Takuma Taki here for third place. Taki, I don't think he's quite enjoying the set of tires. It may be just not for whatever reason, just not gelling with the car and how it's set up. So he is now dropped 3.5 seconds behind Emma Kickert and is being closed in on by the Euromotor duo. As I thought it looked like Greenlaw was slowing. He's got an electrical issue on the holiday. Can he get it back to the pits? I think he should be able to from here. And yeah, this is Greenlaw into the pits. This is an unscheduled pit stop for Greenlaw, but it will be the holiday crew should be able to get that little glitch sorted, and they should be able to get their guy back out and hopefully be able to finish this race. Does seem that Greenlaw may be on the one stop here. I didn't notice them fueling the car up at all there, so interesting strategy play there from Holiday, potentially. So Greenlaw's in a very lonely 6th position here, as we've got Jantscher taking a look to the inside of Dagnall. I don't think Dagnall put up a fight there. It looks like Euromotor have pulled the swap here. They recognize that Jantscher's got a good shot to potentially win this race on the one-stop strategy, and Dagnall's been putting up a good race in this one, but his chances of victory are notably slimmer, you have to say. Kickert continuing to fight her way through traffic, but she's just not catching it in the ideal position as Nicola seems to be able to, and that's opened up the gap to about over 14.5 seconds, which is exactly what Nicola wants to be seeing at this stage in the race. Now the next task for Jantscher, though, is can he catch him past Takuma Taki without getting into bother here. Not really close enough to make a move here, or I wouldn't imagine into turn 12 as well, but we'll sit on board here with Jantscher and see how close he can get to the back of that racing point. Flying down the back straightaway, well over 320 kilometers an hour, and very strong on the brakes as Jantscher, despite that heavy fuel load. You could see him visibly catch up tremendously down that back straightaway. Only a few car lengths now between himself and Taki.
Someone who's also catching up is Kremnichi, who's getting very close to Lon. Eliminated roughly 2 seconds over the last 4 laps.
He did pick quite a bit later than Lon, so this is probably the tire strategy working in the favor of Kremniski at this point. He's running on. Interestingly, he's looking to pit. I do believe he's looking to pit a few laps before Lon, so this is a bit of an odd strategy call here from Checkmate, but it might be what they need to jump ahead of the Bentley.
It would certainly then be a necessity to pass Lone, because if you pit earlier, obviously you are going to spend more laps on a larger fuel in the last stint. I presume it will be the last stint. So passing Lone is actually of the essence right now.
Definitely. Malish also seems to be catching up to Cameron for 10th place here. Looks like he's lost a bit of ground to Solaron in the pit stop cycle. After all those early retirements, we haven't seen any as of late, so it does seem that those early reliability woes not indicative of a high reliability race, at least at this stage, as we've got Yoncher now all over the back of Taki for 3rd place. Not really going to be able to make a move here, but depending on how close he can stick through this section, he might try and try something into the first corner. Of course, the important thing here for Taki is try and defend this position and try and because I mean, if Yoncher gets by, that will presumably also open the door for Dagnall. He's not too far behind Yoncher here. Taki really struggling for pace. Yoncher not able to make the move into turn 1 here, but Taki, he's currently running about 0.8 of a second a lap slower than Emma Kicker in 2nd place currently, so not looking good for Taki at this stage in the race, you have to say. A little further back in the field, we've got a potential battle as well for 17th between Malik Zadana and Aurora Summers. Doesn't look like the peak has the juice in the straight line really to do anything about the mecha though.
Kara behind is threatening though.
Indeed, this is it's been a tough recovery drive for Kara with that additional pit stop for the rear wing change, but he's put himself in position to at least nab an extra couple of positions here, potentially. So we'll try and keep an eye on this and see how this battle pans out. Kremnitsky is getting quite close to Klon at this stage. I think he may be looking to make a move down the main straight. As you say, it's very important for Kremnitsky to make this move as soon as he can before making that final pit stop. Presumably final pit stop. I'm not sure if it actually will be, but presumably it will be. Malish not really able to do anything with Cameron so far for that 10th place. Does seem that Cameron's able to hang on to it for now. I'm not sure that Yoncha really has has the car to really hang with Taki through the opening sector and try and make a move down into turn 12 here. It could be that Yontra is just looking to hold position, but that's a pretty dangerous game to be playing because Nicola at this stage is about 20 seconds ahead of him. So once Nicola makes presumably his final pit stop, he'll be very close to he'll be very close to behind Yontra. We got Dagnall making the pit stop here, so I suppose it didn't really make much sense to have the cars all queued up behind Taki like that, so possibly looking to undercut the racing point here are the Euromotor squad. It does seem that they are fueling him up to finish the race. Yeah, that should be a good fuel load to finish the race on, and he'll come out ahead of Dan Greenlaw here. So the question is, can Dagnall hang on to the spot ahead of the holiday driver? Kremnitsky's still not able to find a way past Lon, and Malish has dropped back a bit from Cameron. He does seem to be closing back in now, so it may have just caught traffic in an inopportune moment. And the battle for 17th is still unchanged here. Zidane still doing enough to keep Summers and Kara at bay, it seems. I think that is the race leader. That is a race leader into the pits, so that's Philippe Nicola into the pits, coming to the attention of the homers here. And this should be his second and final pit stop. That's Emma Kicker going through into the lead. And textbook pit stop for them. He'll come back out a few seconds behind Yontra and Taki for second place now, but that is he should be able to catch back up to them on the fresh tires here. Yeah, that's Cameron's also made a pit stop here, and that's so that's allowed Malish through. Kremnitsky still can't quite seem to find a way past Klon, and he's run out of time to make that move. He's had to be called into the pits here, so that is not ideal for Kremnitsky. It's gonna put him. Gonna give him a bit of a tough ask to try and overhaul the Bentley at this stage. Although it does mean that he should come out comfortably ahead of Pierre Saint Laurent at the very least. As the Canadian there gets lapped by Emma Kickert. Taki not too far back, but it is a gap that is over 4 seconds now, which is that's not what he needs at this stage in the race. He needs to find something over these last 24 laps if he wants to at the very least get back ahead of Emma Kicker. I think finishing ahead of Philippe Nicola, aside from short of a reliability issue, is a bit out of the question at this stage, unfortunately for him. Nanja very much is backed off from the back of the racing point. I suspect he was probably overheating his tires, following him quite that closely. So he's just going to look to maximize his position here, as it does seem that Nicola already closing in quite a bit. There's only 6 seconds between those two. It does seem that Kara has been able to get past the peak of Aurora Summer, so that's Kara up into what is now 17th place. We'll see if he can do anything about Malik Zidane here. So that was a 50.4 in the previous lap for Emma Kickert. That's, Taki put in a 50.9, which is about half a second slower. And then Yontra another half a second slower, more or less. But Nicola there with a 49.4, by far the quickest car on the track. So Nicola's got the pace he needs at this stage in the race. I think that was, that's not ideal for Takuma Taki there, as he and Marco Yontra getting quite held up by Pierre Soleron, who again gets right in the way of Philippe Nicolas. Oh my goodness, I think they're all okay, but that is really less than ideal. As Soleron tries to unlap himself for some reason from Yontra. It may have been that, there was definitely contact there between Saint Laurent and Nicolas. I think Saint Laurent there, quite, frustrated with Nicolas getting into the back of him. But I think that's just, if we have a look here from the onboard. Oh, sorry. From the onboard there, Saint Laurent tucks in behind Yontra, and then Yontra slams on the brakes, and, he has to dive to the inside to try and avoid getting into the back of Yontra. So it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances there between those three drivers, but definitely some frustration there, I think, as well. Of course, this has given Václav Malish the ideal opportunity to take 9th, and indeed he does from Saint Laurent, so that's a frustrating few moments there to be Pierre Saint Laurent. It does seem that Martin McFry has now joined this little battle for 14th. He's had to make a pit stop and has come out right between Kara and Zidane, with Summer still not too far behind, and Shinjo also in this mix. As we got Takuma Taki into the pits. Championship leader here, always an important pit stop. As he rejoins the race, there goes Bradley Dagnall, but he will come out ahead of Dan Greenlaw, so Taki will resume the race in 5th place, and oh my goodness, Domino Veras Torrente! Oh, that was sheer misfortune there. On board with Torrente, she just gets caught out by Taki braking there. Of course, he's on new tires, but that has destroyed the rear wing of the Racing Point, and Taki's gonna have to come right back in and get that replaced, and that's going to be put in behind Dan Greenlaw. He should still be ahead of the likes of, well, depends on how much time he loses here. But that's definitely not what he needed at this stage in the race. As Nicolas made the move now on Marco Jantscher for second place. While all that was going on, ooh, was that contact as well between those two. Nicolas right in the toe here of the Euromotor, and with fresher tires and similar fuel loads, because they're both looking to get to the finish here, Nicolas just able to stay close enough to get that move done. So Nicolas back up into second spot here, only about 12 seconds or so behind Emma Kicker, who I imagine still has to pit again. We've been keeping an eye on Fu Wen in this race, and I'd just like to point out he's running 13th at the head of the lower powered engines, the Yonglongs and the Mugen Hondas. He's got a good gap here over the likes of Martin McFry and Malik Zidane, almost half a minute. I don't know if he needs to pit again. He probably does, as we got Yamamura coming into the pits here, but McFry's just gotten ahead of Zidane for 14th here. Kara all over the back of the Egyptian looking for 15th. But even if Fu Wen needs to pit again, he's in an excellent position to take 13th in this race, which would be a sensational result given the level of retirements and whatnot. So we've got Taki back into the pits here to replace that rear wing. They're replacing the tires because you might as well. He gets back out on the track here, but should still stay ahead of Klon, but there's no chances. Oh my goodness! Vaslav Malish is out of the race! Up into 9th place he was looking to stay in the championship fight here, but that's gonna take his title ambitions. That's going to give his title ambitions a nasty hit here. That's not what he needs at this stage in the season. Suspension failure has eliminated the Czech sophomore driver from this race.
Especially since it seems like both Taki and Nicolas will score big time today.
Certainly. Assuming they don't run into any late race mechanical issues. Zidane's still under heavy pressure here from Alberto Cara, but he's doing a good job hanging on to the spot. At least for now.
Or in the case of Taki, run into any back marker issues again.
That is true. Jantscher into the pits now! It's an electrical issue for the, That's a terrible, terrible break for Jantscher in this race. It's going to put him behind his teammate, in fact. And it may also leave him behind Dan Greenlaw. Indeed, there goes the holiday. So Greenlaw up to 4th, and I think any hopes of Jantscher getting on the podium today are about done, as he does manage to avoid getting his rear wing knocked out by Torrente, though.
So that's at least something he has over Taki.
This is true. Fu Wen is now pitting. He will indeed make a second stop in this race. Will be very interesting to see where he comes out with regards to McFry, Zidane, Kara, and all. I think, yeah, they're just coming out of the final corner now. This is McFry down the main straightaway. He will move through into 12th place, but I believe this Kara's gotten ahead of Zidane in the meantime, but Fu Wen still running ahead of his teammate. Of course, Kara has had his issues with the with his rear wing also being broken earlier in the race is we've got Emma Kickert now in the pits. This is a scheduled pit stop for Kickert, quite a late one, and that's going to hand the lead to Flute Nicola. I think Simpson looking for Kickert to try and make a late charge here, but that gap to Nicola, I imagine, will probably be a bit too big for her to manage. But back to the young ones here. We've got this is definitely Fuen's strongest drive of the season so far. Kara's had his misfortunes, but Fuen's done exactly what he needs to maximize his position on the track, and if he could score some very solid points here for Yonglong, I'm sure the Chinese manufacturer will be very pleased by that. And that's Klon now into the pits for his final pit stop. We'll see where he I imagine he should come out ahead of Kamnitsky, but it might be close between the two of them.
"27 seconds was the difference."
I think this is Kremnitsky coming out of the final corner now, and I think Lon's done enough to stay ahead of the Slovak driver, so it will be a straight fight between those two, but Kremnitsky, with a few more laps on his tires, is going to have his work cut out for him to get back past the, to get ahead of the German here. Nicola pacing himself now, 150.8 on his previous lap. We'll see what kind of pace Kickert has on her new tires, but she's going with about 18 laps to go. She's going to have to find another 15 seconds as Dagnall's now pitting with a brake issue.
Those mechanical gremlins at Euromotor just will not stop plaguing them. Dagnall here was looking at a potential podium, but I think that will promote. That may hand it to Dan Greenlaw, I think.
Sure, it looks like it. Depends, of course, if Janša can catch him with fresh tires or not.
True. Taki here running comes out not too far behind Dagnall, so that might give Taki something to fight for here if he can catch him past Dagnall. That will be 2 extra points to limit the damage, assuming, of course, that Nicola does indeed win this race, as he's very much threatening to do. As for Janša, he definitely has the pace on those fresh tires, so he may still be able to salvage a third-place finish out of this one, as we've got Kara into the pits and Zidane in as well. So both of them making their final pit stops and come out behind Ben Fleet, but Ben Fleet's been on his set of tires for quite a while now, so he'll have a tough ask to hold the pair of them off, I would imagine. We've got Pierre Saint-Laurent making his final pit stop here. Should be pretty safe in 9th place at this stage, I would think. And that is Janša making the move into turn 1 on Greenlaw, and there's nothing the American could do. That's promoted Marco Janša back onto the podium here, but I think any hopes of winning or finishing second are pretty much gone at this stage. I think the big battle up front will probably be to see if Kickert can, in fact, close back in on Nicola and have a go for the race win. Nicola's last lap of 50.6. Kickert just put in her personal best lap, but she won't match that on this lap because not able to find a way around Alberto Carr. That's going to cost her some time, but if she can keep taking out a second and a half a lap, she will probably be able to catch up to the Holiday before the end of the race. Also of note here, we've got Fu Wen here challenging Martin McFly for 12th place here, so again, this really underlines what a fantastic drive Fu Wen's been putting in this race. McFly certainly no slouch, as he proved last season, winning a couple of races and scoring, I think it was 6 poles positions in the end, and being probably one of the very top i3 drivers in terms of the championship. But Fu here giving him everything he can handle. Doesn't make an ill-advised move into turn 11. That's we've seen a few times drivers really catch themselves out at turn 11, and then even if they can get the move done, they get passed back down the main straightaway. But Fu there not able to get a good exit out of turn 11, not able to threaten the Foxdale down the back straightaway, so he's gonna have to wait a few more corners to see if he can take another look, because we've got Kara here getting past Fleet. So Kara up to 15th here. Ooh, late lunge to the inside by Fu there, but not able to make the move stick. Nicola put in a 50.7 on that lap. We'll see now what Emma Kickert's been able to put in. She's carved the lead down to 12 seconds. 11.5 on that lap, because she was, I think, probably held up a little bit by Kara.
Kremnicki is losing over a second a lap to Lon. That's a whole different level of tires here.
Absolutely. Kremnicki, they're 53.3 on that last lap. I think those tires are pretty spent at this stage. It's probably pushed them quite hard to try and jump back ahead of Lon, but now that Lon's able to cruise at his leisure, as we got Fu Wen making a move to the inside of Martin McFly. And that's a Chinese driver up into 12th place. Really puts a cap on what's been a fantastic drive from Fu Wen in this race. We've still got 19 runners, so Malish has been our only retirement over the past 20 laps or so, I think. Really showing that the ARWS teams are really getting on top of the reliability of the new formula in the second season of the ARWS's return. As I think Zidane here now really sizing up Ben Fleet's on very old tires at this stage in the race. It does get a good exit out of that final corner though, and will keep the Egyptian at bay for another half lap or so, I imagine, at the very least. Up front, Kickert's previous lap was a 150 flat. Nicola 7/10 slower. So she is still catching, but not at the rate she really needs to at this stage in the race. Again, it might be enough to catch Nicola, but I'm not sure she'll have enough left in the tank to really overtake him, even if she can catch up to him. Oh goodness, Zidane really cutting it close there. That's because Aurora Summers has caught the pair of them. Needs to be at this move done now, does Zidane. Riding the slipstream of the Foxtail. Can he make a last second lunge into turn 12? Decides against it. And we'll have to hope that he doesn't get a surprise up the inside from Summers at turn 1 for his troubles here, I suppose. Dagnall's also pulling away from Taki at this stage, so it doesn't seem that the championship leader has what it takes in terms of tires, at the very least, to catch up and take fifth from Bradley Dagnall. So it looks like 6th at the moment will be what he'll be able to manage in this one. Ben Fleet there, cutting off Marco Jancher into turn 1 here. Now this is not ideal for Jancher because he's not terribly far ahead of Greenlaw. He does have the advantage of much better tires, but you don't want to be giving away time unnecessarily here. But of course, Fleet does have his own battle to worry about. He's got to do what he can to fend off Zidane and Summers here. And that's Summers making a lunge up the inside of Zidane, and she takes 17th.
Oh, that could have gone wrong. That could have gone very wrong.
It did work out in the end, and Summers now all over the back of Fleet. She's looking to make a double overtake on this lap. Side by side into turn 12, and Summers gets the job done. Took full advantage of the opportunity in front of her, and now Zidane will have to pull over and allow Dan Greenlaw through. So he'll have to now catch back up to Ben Fleet, and that might be any hope of beating Summers out of the window here. Kickert's last lap, 150.2, and Nicola struggled with traffic a bit on that lap, 151.9. So that lead down now to 9 seconds with about 11.5 laps to go. It's around turn 11. So, will be interesting to see if Emma Kicker can keep this up, keep putting the pressure on Philippe Nicolas, and be able to catch back up, and maybe just take this win right at the finish here, if she can keep this pace up, and if Nicolas keeps encountering lap traffic at inopportune moments, like I think he just has here. The long sweeping. Sorry.
So for what it is worth, if once he has dealt with the Yang Wang, that's pretty much his lapping cars done for the day. Because the next one is long way ahead, like going through the S's as we speak.
This is true. There's another mid 151 lap for Nicolas for Kicker. It's a 150.3 that gap down to under 8 seconds with 11 laps to go. Though now the question for Kicker is, can she get past this slower traffic without costing herself time? We also may have a battle for 10th place here between Yamamura and Nathaniel Cameron. So Don's caught back up to Fleet here as well. Now, the issue for Kicker here is she could probably, she'll probably get past Martin McFry here, but then you've got the Bentley and Fu Wen is... Yeah, that may be an issue for Saint Laurent. He's lost his rear wing.
What the hell happened?
He lost it a fair while ago. The only thing I could think of is maybe Takuma Taki got into the back of the Bentley, entering turn 12.
What is it with Takuma, Taki, and rear wings today?
In any case, Saint Laurent into the pits here and will drop behind both Yamamura and Cameron. So I'll put him back in 11th place, but he should be well clear of Fu Wen here. But not too far behind is the Chinese driver here. So again, really underlining the fantastic performance he's been able to put in the relatively underpowered Yonglong. Got Kicker there making the move to the inside. Probably would have preferred it if Fu gave her a bit more space there, but of course the issue there is pretty much fought to a draw by Philippe Nicola. In fact, the race leader a little bit quicker than her on that previous lap, so that might be it for the race win, unfortunately. I think at this stage probably the best battle on the track is this fight for 17th between Fleet and Zidane here. Summers has pulled away to the tune of nearly 5.5 seconds here, so really if Zidane's gonna get anything else out of this race, it's probably gonna be the 17th place off of Fleet. I don't think he's gonna be able to catch Summers at this point. Let's Kicker back into the pits. It's an electrical issue for Kickert. But she's able to get it back to the pits and will be able to get that fixed. But this will allow Marco Yancher through into second place, I believe. And indeed, there goes the Euromotor into second place. And on fresh tires now, she will come out behind Dan Greenlaw, but not too far, so she may be able to at least get back on the podium in this. Like, still doing a good job here, holding off the mecha of Zidane here. See if he gets a good slipstream here, but it looks like Zidane just didn't get nearly as good an exit as Fleet managed to, and now Zidane will have to get out of the way of Bradley Dagnall. So again, he'll have to wait a little bit to have another go at Fleet here.
The mecha being comparatively more built for corner speed, of course, proves it troublesome here. Neglecting to deal with or to avoid the drag that now hurts him on that long straight.
So it's clear air here between Dan Greenlaw and Emma Kickert here. There's 8 more laps in this race. You'd imagine with the fresh tires here, Kickert should make short work of the American, but at the same time, Greenlaw will desperately want to take a podium here in front of his home fans. I'm not entirely sure which part of America he's from at this state at the minute. His birthplace eludes me at the moment, but I think he's well, he definitely would want to be able to stand on the podium in his first ARWS race back on home turf.
He's from New England, from Hartford, Connecticut, but...
Okay, so about as far away from Austin as you can get. I did think he might have been from New England, but I didn't want to say for sure. But, yeah, so, his home race would be more Loudon, but of course, we won't be going back there until 2025, so this will have to suffice as a home race for him.
So it should be noted that Austin is a very, within the US at least, a very cosmopolitan city, so there will probably be a lot of people from that region who have moved there in town. Oh, that's looking...
Bit of a traffic jam here is
yeah.
Kremnitsky trying to lap Martin McFry and Yoncher trying to lap the pair of them.
Lapping cars, that's a tongue breaker. And a brain breaker for the drivers involved.
Evidently so. Kickert now is caught up to Greenlaw, looking for that third place. Don't think she's quite close enough to make the move here into turn 12. Ooh, tries to catch Greenlaw off guard there, but it was just too far back. She'll have to gear herself up for a move into... probably into turn 11 to 12 next lap, I would imagine. That's Saint-Laurent going another lap down. Zidane having to pull out of the way of Takuma Taki here. Still cannot find a way past Ben Fleet. He's been doing a heroic job to keep the Egyptian behind on those worn tires, even with the noted extra drag that the mecha has. As we've got a car off at the final corner. That is Andrei Kremnitsky. Oh my goodness, that is not what Martin Moravich would want to be seeing right now. That's the transmission is gone on the checkmate, and he's been having a fantastic drive, but it's all gone up in smoke, and that's really been the story of his season. Anytime he has a good race, it just ends with a mechanical failure, and when he doesn't have a good race, the car holds together. Kicker here all over the back of Greenlaw through the S's. They're just about to catch up to, I think that is Martin McFry here. Indeed it is. So Greenlaw will... Yeah, Greenlaw had to make that move there. And Kicker tries to get up the inside. Greenlaw squeezes her out, but Kickert's right on his tail. down the back straightaway. I don't think there's anything Dan Greenlaw is going to be able to do to hang on to the spot. Goes as late as he can on the brakes, but it's not going to be enough. Edna Kickert will get back into third place here. And that will leave Greenlaw in a fourth place. It is hopefully what will be his first finish of the season. Of course, this is only his third race, but the less said about Sanair for the holiday team, the better. Of course, there was a pit lane brawl. I was informed after the race following the collision between Nicola and Anuvozu, and in the ensuing chaos, unfortunately, the team owner Rudy Holiday was hospitalized. He's been battling health issues the past several months, it seems, and trying to get his crew under control took a toll on the American, unfortunately, and it's going to be he's going to have to step aside for the time being. At the very least, I imagine he'll be very pleased with the state of the race currently, with Nicola leading and Greenlaw in fourth. That's going to really boost the Holiday's Constructors Championship ambitions if this result holds as it is currently. Also in the closing laps here, Kara may be closing in on Naoki Shinjo and able to salvage potentially a 13th out of this race, so that's also potentially on the table for him. As for Zidane, I at this stage I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's probably used up too much of his tires, and
the lack of straight line speed was always going to make this an exceedingly difficult task, and without the tire advantage, I agree there's no chance. Since it's also not looking like any back markers are going to come to help.
Indeed. Well, they don't have the luxury of having back markers. They're the only person behind the pair of them is Carmen Alvarez Torrente, who's been running a very lonely race now. 50 seconds off the back of Zidane is Torrente. She's really had a tough time of it since her return to ARWS, replacing, of course, the controversial, shall we say, James Wilmington.
Cameron also had a rather lonely effort, pretty much profiting from the issues with Tremnici and St. Laurent, and he's way behind Klon.
Yeah, a full minute and a half. That's not a gap you see every day. Just
say what we will about Lon, but today he dominated the W12 class, so to speak.
Indeed, especially when you consider that Cameron has a Cameron, Malish, and Kremnitsky before the Czechniks retired. Of course, they all run Bentley engines or rebadged Bentley engines in the case of the Jones of Cameron. was wondering if Emma Kicker on those tires still had anything left to try and catch up to Marco Jancher, but it doesn't seem like she does. Only about 0.6 quicker on that previous lap, and with a little over 2 laps to go, it doesn't look like there'll be enough time for her to catch the Euromotor. Kara is definitely closing in on Shinjo though. He might be able to get one chance on this next lap. Here. Possibly. Up front, it's all looking good for Philippe Nicolas. He's got 1.5 laps to go here as he holds a 35-second advantage over Marco Jancher. It's been one of those days where ill luck befalls everybody except Nicolas. I think he's been overdue one of those races, given his recent run.
It'll be his first win since the Luxembourg Grand Prix, so that's a while ago.
Indeed, and Nicolas has been... I think he's got the fastest lap of the race, so he's looking at a potential maximum haul here if he can bring it around one more lap here as he gets around the final corner to start the final lap of the race. Now running in clear air, he's got certainly got the pace in that car, running under a 1 minute 50 on that previous lap, which is very good for given how long into his stint he is. As for Car's fight for 13th here with Shinjo, not really close enough to take a look to the inside of the mecha here, and Takuma Taki is really going to spoil that fight, I think, for Car here. He's not really going to be able to have another go here, I would imagine. So now into the final sector of the final lap for Philippe Nicolas. Just a few more corners to go here. It wasn't looking too promising for him in the early going as Taki really ran away with a lead, but Nicolas stuck with it, got around the cars he needed to, and made the strategy work right in his favor. When misfortune plagued his competitors, he did not let up at all, and Philippe Nicolas has won the Southern US Grand Prix. And that is a badly needed win for him in this championship fight, with Takuma Taki having all sorts of problems on his way to what is looking like 6th place here. Cameron comes across the line to take 8th. Yamamura 9th. Pierre Saint-Laurent 10th. And followed closely behind by Klon, who's really dominated the W12s in this one. Marco Jancher finishes off 2nd. A valiant effort for the Austrian. Emma Kickert salvages podium finish here once again. Dan Greenlaw gets his first finishes his ARWS return. Carmen Alvarez Torrente with a very, shall we say, chaotic race, finishes in 18th. Fu Wen has arguably the drive of his life to finish 11th.
Bradley Dagnall, a very solid top 5. One of his best performances I've ever seen of him. Martin McFry, a solid 12th for him. Taki only finishes 6th in the end. Shinjo holds on to 13th from Alberto Cara. Roar Summers will come across the line here to finish. Alright, 15th, I suppose. Probably would prefer to finish ahead of the car that had to pit for your wing change. Ben Fleet 16th and Malik Zidane 17th as we've got a car stopped on the back straightaway. I think that was Philippe Nicolas running out of fuel. Definitely didn't leave anything on the table today, did Philippe Nicolas in the end. And our retirements from this race, both the checkmates later in the going, they were definitely had a strong race pace in this race, but fortunately the transmission for Kremnitsky and the suspension for Malish both failing them and leaving them without a what would have otherwise been a pretty solid pool of points for them. Magda Zervansky, an oil leak. Her nightmarish run continues. Diego Alvarez Torrente had a puncture. Engine failures took both Edvard Holm and Amy Gauthier out of this race. Final Watson out after a pretty clumsy attempt to get around Dan Greenlaw, I had to say, at turn 12. And Amani Burrell very early out of this race with the electrical failure on her Adriatica. And indeed, Philippe Nicolas does indeed hang on to the fastest lap of the race. Very closely run by Dan Greenlaw, and it'll look like that's a very, very good haul of points here for Holiday. As neither Simpson gets any fastest lap points, and Kickert only with the 46 points for finishing third. Marco Jantscher also recorded the third fastest lap. So he'll get a couple of extra points for that.
Kremnitsky and Lon also in a world of their own as far as the W12s are concerned.
Oh my goodness, yes. Kremnitsky a full second quicker than Saint Laurent. And 1.3 seconds quicker than Václav Malish, which will I think that's his way of responding to the threats about his job security in that seat.
Cara and Wen only also separate by only 0.005 of a second.
Yeah, that definitely underlines how good of a drive Fu Wen put in this race. This is definitely one of his very best performances of his career, I think you'd have to say. And the peaks right at the bottom of the fastest lap chart here is I think they're between the issues with the Pirelli tires and sort of development issues, and I think they've had some legal issues with one James Wilmington. It's going to it's all taken a toll on them, and they've really sort of dropped to the back of the field in terms of pace here. But that'll be it for today, and we'll see you next time at the Malaysian Grand Prix in Sepang. So see you there.
Bye.